You know, there's been a lot of focus on the investigation of Trump in Florida, but today I want to talk about the investigation of Trump in Georgia. Right, fun times for America. You've got multiple criminal probes into the former president. But actually, the major news involving the Georgia probe doesn't focus on Trump himself, but rather his right-hand attorney and human cockroach, Rudy Giuliani. With Giuliani's lawyers telling reporters that they were informed yesterday that Giuliani is a target of the sweeping probe into alleged election interference in the state. And so this is being described as massive because being identified as a target typically means that prosecutors believe that he could be indicted as the case moves forward based on the evidence they have so far. It's also very significant because, as Axios notes, with this news, Giuliani is now the highest profile figure to be publicly revealed as a target of the investigation, as well as the closest figure to Trump. And according to a lawyer who was special counsel during Trump's first impeachment, identifying Giuliani as a target is also bad news for Trump, with him explaining there's no way Giuliani is a target of the DA's investigation and Trump doesn't end up as one. They're simply too entangled factually and legally in the attempt to use fake electors and other means to overturn the Georgia election results. Giuliani has always been known as one of the main ringleaders orchestrating the effort to overturn the election. And recently it became clear that he's also a key figure in the Georgia probe, which was initially launched after Trump called Georgia's Secretary of State and asked him to find enough votes to overturn the results of the election. And in a petition seeking Giuliani's testimony, the Fulton County District Attorney specifically noted his appearance before Georgia state legislative panels in December of 2020, where he spent hours spewing lies about secret suitcases of ballots and other bullshit. With a petition also noting that the evidence shows that Giuliani's testimony there was part of a multi-state coordinated plan by the Trump campaign to influence the results of the November 2020 election in Georgia and elsewhere. Now, Giuliani, for his part, has denied all wrongdoing, and his lawyers have said that he's willing to cooperate. This, even though they've been doing all they can to prevent him from testifying in person, claiming that he had a medical procedure earlier this summer that prevented him from traveling to Georgia.
What's going on with you? What are you talking about?
Prompting an extended back and forth with prosecutors that ultimately resulted in a judge ruling last week that he needs to go to Georgia and testify. And while the testimony is officially set for tomorrow, it's unclear how much it's actually going to achieve because he's made it clear that he's going to cite attorney-client privilege with Trump. But regardless, experts know that this shows that Georgia's probe is moving forward aggressively with some very high-profile figures. Right, I mean, because also just yesterday, a federal judge ruled that Senator Lindsey Graham also must testify before the grand jury in the inquiry, with the judge having rejected Graham's argument that he had immunity from testifying and denying his request to toss out a subpoena that he had been issued. With Graham also, of course, denying any wrongdoing and his lawyer saying he's not a target of the investigation, but prosecutors have said that Graham is of interest to them for a number of reasons, with this including multiple phone calls he made to Georgia's Secretary of State and his staff after the 2020 election, urging them to re-examine certain absentee ballots to, quote, explore the possibility of a more favorable outcome for former President Donald Trump. But for now, that is where we are. We're going to have to wait to see what comes from these testimonies in the probe itself.